Like a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Call roll, please.
Dr. Baker? Yes. Mr. Eliff?
Yes.
Mr. Gothard?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes. All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. It appears we will not have, we don't have enough to approve that, so we'll have to table that till next month. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing and major modification to the Community Unit Planning Case 1-2022 Anderson, property of 7945 Cross Creek Drive, Lot 25. Like to hear the staff report, Paul?
Thank you. And before I forget, Logan Vaughn is our co-op for the semester, so I do want to introduce him. He helped
Logan?
with a lot of our
Is there anything we
materials
should
for
read into
tonight.
our ability to maintain a co-op?
No.
They go back to school.
Yes, they go back to school.
Okay. That was the right
That's why
answer.
we only have them for a semester.
All right.
That's why it seems like we have so
Welcome,
many.
Logan.
All right. This is case 1-2022 Anderson, which is a major modification. The applicant is Julie Zicka, who's the president of Zicka Homes, on behalf of Wolf Angle Development LLC, the property owner. The location, again, 7945 Cross Creek, lot number 25. The zoning there is CUP, which is Single Family Community Unit Plan. The request is a major modification to this community unit plan for the rear yard setback. The applicant is proposing 27.2 feet where 30 feet is required. This would be a new single-family home. And the rear yard is the setback variance that's being requested, and is for a rear covered porch. And again, this is one of the first homes constructed to be built in the subdivision, although several have been sold. Several lots have been sold. So there is a little bit of history, and I'll quickly go through the history. Back in January of 2022, that's when the first pre-submittal open house meeting was heard at the Anderson Center. In February of 2022, this was heard by Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission, who recommended approval with conditions for the zone change. The Township Zoning Commission approved the zone change in February of 2022, which then made a recommendation to the trustees, who approved the zone change in March of 2022. The final development plan was approved in April of 2022. Then there was a modification, a substantial modification, that was heard by the trustees in May of 2022, and this was regarding conditions number 3 and 8, as well as the addition of number 10. And that resolution is the conditions are here in the staff report. And then finally, a major modification was heard in March of 2023. This was 3 requests. One was the removal of a sidewalk along the detention basin. One was a reduction in the front yard setback on lot 3. And then request C was an increase in the depths of lots 17 through 21 and lots 26 through 30. B was approved, and A and C were denied. So this is an aerial map of the site in question. Wolf Angle is just to the right of the slide, the proposed street, and then there are 2 streets into this subdivision. The site in question is the lot outlined in red. This is Cross Creek Drive, and the house is proposed to face Cross Creek Drive, although it is a corner lot, so it does have 2 front yards. The side yard is the west property line, and then the rear is the southern property line. The topography map, and this is the site plan. Again, the house is proposed to come off of Cross Creek Drive with the driveway. So the front, there are 2 front yards, but the rear is the south facing. This is the little bump out of the roof over the covered deck. Again, proposed at 27.2 feet versus 30 feet. These are the elevation drawings, the front of the home, the 2 sides, and then this is the rear with the covered porch. This would be the area that would protrude into the 30-foot rear yard setback. These are just the floor plans of the home. This is the area has the covered porch that would encroach into the rear yard setback. Nice, pretty snow-covered lot. It's hard to tell what's what with the snow, although the snow is very pretty. This is the corner lot right here. This is Cross Creek Drive. This is that little cul-de-sac. In the rear, you can see the back of Mercy Hospital. Again, this is looking just at a different vantage point. I believe the lot is right over here. Just different vantage points. So with a major modification plan that fails to meet the requirements set forth in Article 5.1C1, but does not infringe on specific criteria, is required to go through the Zoning Commission for review as a major modification. Again, these were the conditions, and they're also in the staff report of the final development plan, the zone change resolution. So with a major modification, there are certain items that we look at. First is compliance with the original trustee resolution, and again, the applicant's requesting a reduced rear yard setback. We look at the Anderson plan. We did not evaluate the request based on the entire subdivision. That was already done when the zone change was approved for the subdivision. So we're really just looking at this particular lot and the impacts of a variance on the surrounding lots in this particular subdivision. So there was really only one item in the comprehensive plan, which is on page 49, that gave guidance at looking at reduced lot sizes and setbacks in the subdivision. So staff's recommendation was as follows. This particular lot is a corner lot, which means that it backs, and we can go to the site plan again. The lot here to the south will have a side yard setback versus a front or rear yard setback. So it does reduce this area. The setback here for this lot to the south is only going to be 5 feet. So that is quite a reduced area of space for that particular area for lot 25. It may be substantial. The proposed 27.2 feet will make this area as compact as lot 26 will only have a side yard of 5 feet. Staff was of the opinion that during the original hearings for this subdivision, because it is a community unit plan, there were reductions of lot sizes, setbacks, primarily front and rear as well as side, to accommodate the homes. And again, this is the first home. It's so if staff feels that the house should be made really to fit within the CUP setbacks. On the flip side, it is an interior lot. The big concern when this went through the zoning commission and the trustees was the perimeter, making sure that there was adequate buffer between the new subdivision and the existing surrounding homes. So this does not infringe on that. However, it is does make a smaller area for the rear yard. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. Start to my left. Commissioner Baker,
No, not at this time.
Commissioner Elam.
I got just a few questions for you, Paul. One is, I understand that we're looking at this as it conforms to the existing resolution, but in the staff report, it's mentioning variance standards. Should we disregard those? Was that from something else, or is that actually something we look at with this?
But they are requesting a variance, so those
So
are
it's,
some
so this
standards
is
that
a
you
major
can-
modification, but it's a variance, basically, right?
Yes,
Okay, I
correct.
understand, thank you.
Yes.
And, you know, we heard this before, I remember this case, and we had that one lot 3 that we reduced the front yard setback for 3 feet, but for part of the lot. Was that a similar issue? I can't remember why we did that, and I know we kind of limited that. Was that so they could fit a house on that lot as well? Do you remember?
It was. If you can, let's see which one's the better.
Is that
So-
lot 3?
This was lot 3, and it was due to the irregular shape of the
Oh,
lot.
right, okay, I
Oh, sorry.
remember. I think that's really all my questions. Thank you.
I've got a question. Did you look at the southeast corner of the proposed home, and wouldn't it need to be 30 feet from the property line? That sort of angles towards the west also, because that'd be front yard?
This was, I believe, approved with the community unit plan because of the curvature of the Cross Creek Drive, the right-of-way there. I don't know if we brought that file. This was taken from the record, or the improvement plan, and it was, the building window was slightly smaller there.
All right, that's all the question I had. Thank you.
Okay. Paul, we send out the notice within so many feet, if you're interested. Do we know which lots have been sold and were people notified?
So,
Sarah can answer that question.
so we actually, since the lots are, none of them are built yet, we actually took the 200 feet from the entire subdivision.
Okay.
So the street to the north was notified, Mercy Hospital was notified, and the surrounding property is on Wolfangle.
Okay, what about anyone who's bought a spec lot within
They
that?
all were, they've not been purchased yet. They're all still under
Oh, I thought you
Zika.
said this, some had been.
Well, the applicant can clarify. There are some lots that say sold. I don't know if they've transferred. So, but there are some lots that
Okay.
say sold, I think
I'll
about.
save the question then.
And we've, yes.
Any follow-ups with staff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have, I just have one. So in your comments, Paul, you state the implications that if we grant this, that others may want that too. So, let's suppose, just for the sake of argument, that everybody wanted a 3-foot variance. You know, would that substantially, in your opinion, change the character of the street and the lots?
Well, the biggest concern, again, when this came through for the zone change, was the properties off of Tower View Lane, the setbacks, because Tower View Lane was Zone B, single family. This particular property was also Zone B, and the request for the zone change was to C, CUP. So a setback in a B zoning district, a rear yard setback is 35 feet. A setback in the C zoning district is 30 feet, and these lots were proposed to be much smaller than the lots on Tower View. So in order to, you know, kind of provide a buffer and protect the character of Tower View lots and the new subdivision coming in, that was the biggest concern, was that there was a buffer between the two subdivisions, which ultimately ended up being a separate open space parcel. Then there was also concern when the second modification came in to reduce the lots widths in these areas, was protection of this open space, so that was denied. So again, the overall theme was to protect this open space. It was about 50% developed versus 50% undeveloped. This particular, and they, you know, if it, in the staff report, we mentioned that this lot and this lot were both interior lots because they back up to, I think this is lot 26, but correct me if I'm wrong. So the impacts are going to really be on lot 26. But if one of these lots were to come in and ask for a rear yard setback variance, there is the potential for further encroachment into this open space area, and that's what the concern is.
That help?
I don't know if that answered your question or not, but and then if everyone were, you know, if all the lots were coming in to request for a reduced rear yard setback, I think we would need to hear that all at the same time, because it impacts the entire subdivision, not just the one lot.
And if I understand you right, what you're saying is that there is already a compromise in changing it from B to C.
Correct.
So this, right. Gotcha.
Okay. At this time, I'd like the applicant to come forward or state your name, your address, and affiliation with the case.
Julie Zicka, and I'm at currently 183 Coldstream Villa Drive in Riverview Estates, and what was the other?
Your affiliation with the case.
Oh, I'm the builder.
Okay.
Yeah. What do I just
Would
state?
you like, well, anything you'd like to add to what staff has already said? And if you have nothing to add, we'll ask you questions possibly.
Okay. So we do have several sales in here. We carry the construction, so they won't be transferred into the homeowners' names until the construction is complete. So we'll own the lots if the houses take 9 months to build until they're finished, just FYI. We have 3 sales and 1 model that we're currently, I think we're in permit for all of those. And this is the only one who has asked for a variance. They're an older couple, and in the spirit of goodwill, I agreed to run this by you guys and see if they could get the variance that's, shorter than my arm.
Has
But
lot 26,
I
has lot 26
understand.
sold?
Lot 26 is not sold.
Okay.
If you did something like this, I could commit to building a market home on lot 26. I don't know if I'm allowed to negotiate here, but anyway, they're just an older couple and they wanted some more room on their covered porch. I tried to talk them into just extending the patio, but they wanted it covered. Do you have anything to add, Ralph?
So you're here representing them because you haven't turned over legally ownership until it's built?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Questions at that end? Commissioner Elof?
Yes, I have a question for Ms. Zicka, which is, I hear what you're saying about this is a one-time thing for the one couple that wanted the 3-foot encroachment. So we know all these lots. You've obviously looked at it quite carefully. There was a lot of discussion before about enlarging the lots, not enlarging them, not getting into the green space, et cetera. So I do hear staff's concern a little bit about if we grant this modification. I think we kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball on that a little bit because although this one's not in the green space, this is backing onto one of the lots you already own. So I do think that's a little different.
Yeah.
What kind of assurances can you give us that, you won't just kind of keep coming in here and asking for these changes, because there is some rhyme and reason. You can see this, you provided all the process this
Sure.
thing has gone through a lot.
Yeah.
I remember some of it. But I kind of hear what the staff is saying about opening the door here. What kind of assurances can you give us on that, if any?
Well, I can assure you that if you deny me, I won't be back in here asking for another variance.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, because I haven't met I mean, if this doesn't go through, obviously, I'm not gonna go in for another major modification, but, I could assure you that we'll all keep our mouths zipped and not have this as an option.
Okay. I think that's really all I had.
Okay. Commissioner
Thank you.
Gottlieb?
So I see the home plans are dated in October of '24, so where did the 3-foot sort of come from? Was that something that you guys presented to the couple, or
No,
was it their own idea? Or?
the space is rather small, and it was their idea. They said, they didn't understand the process, and we explained it to them a little bit, and I told them that there's a hearing for a variance, and they said, oh, well, we would love to try that. We'd really love the 3 feet. I mean, really, that's the only reason I'm here, and I want to do anything I can for my homeowners, and
Yeah, no, it's just, knowing that the resolutions go back to 2022, 23,
Yeah.
and then the plans are dated 24,
yeah,
pretty major shift of
I know.
information. So,
I just maximized my space with the house plans that we developed, and it's just, again, the patio can go 3 feet, but they wanted the roof to go 3 feet as well.
okay. That's all the questions I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else wish to speak?
Just, if I
Please,
may.
please come forward, state your name, address, and affiliation.
Ralph Rechtemeyer with Zicka Homes. I live in Mason, Ohio, 5845 Fallingbrook Drive. The only couple of things I just wanted to mention here is I know that Paul mentioned lot number 26 about the encroaching and the minimum of the side yard, but, 26 is going to have a 5-foot side yard, and then it's still going to have 27.2 foot away from the house. I mean, so really we're encroaching that 2 foot 8 inches into the backyard. So I don't see it as a detriment to the side of lot number 26. The other thing is, and again, not your problem or our problem, but with the economy the way that it is and costs the way that they are, I mean, these houses are how much? $1 million. And, I mean, we're just trying to accommodate our buyers a little bit. And as Julie said, I mean, we're talking about, that much. And it's just the overhang of the roof there. We don't come in often to try to get variances. We try to work within the scope of the lot that we've got there. But because of the price range and trying to maximize our what you can get for your house today, we're trying to give people as much as possible. So as you can see, we're end to end, we're as big as we can be on there, and they're still small houses for $1 million.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Any questions?
One additional question, don't know which one, but, you're required a 30-foot front yard setback, but you've got a 30-foot, 30 and a half feet. Did you look at maybe buying a half a foot off of that to
Well, the
reduce
only reason
rear?
that our engineer does that is we never want to encroach.
Exactly.
So basically,
based on layout
when
then.
you're in the field, he always does that. He gives us that 6 inches, just in case, when you come out and measure or something, that we're not, a half foot too close and we got to be in here for a real hardship.
Yes, okay, the 6 inch oops factor.
Yeah,
So, okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
And we could, and again, we could pull it forward that 6 inches. I mean, we can do that. I mean, I don't think that it'd be 6 inches.
All right. You still would need a variance for 2 feet something.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other? This time I'll close the public part of the hearing and open it up to the commissioners unless any follow-up questions with staff before I close it. No? Okay. Discussion?
I'll start, I guess. I'm conflicted, so I'll go first. I feel like basically it's de minimis. I feel like the most impacted lot is going to be the one Zicka already controls. So the extent that that is pushing that side yard, they're going to have to deal with that as part of their sales program. On the other hand, I am understanding of the staff, and we put a lot of process in this plan and maintaining the integrity of that. If I would have heard this is a one-time thing, which I don't think I heard that, then I'd feel maybe a little bit better about getting a variance, but I'm curious what everybody else has to say.
I would concur with
Sorry, we're closed.
Mr. Elliff also, the plan was set in place a long time ago. It's, been back for a variety of different reasons and revisions, and we've all listened to those. It was pretty clear the 30-foot, but then they possibly presented to the homeowners, potential homeowners, of this slight change, or, didn't say, well, this isn't such a clear, easy process. And also, that is a concern of mine. Relatively, small sort of variance, but again, looking at staff's concerns of, is it setting a precedence for this? Or are we setting a precedence for, either other subdivisions of saying, well, so-and-so did it on this one, you know, even though we've got, you know, multiple resolutions, you know, that's a concern because I think as of late, we see a lot more coming back of, well, we know what the rules were, but we want to modify the rules. Or in one case, we came through the one process and it was approved and then we retracted it and then we're coming back through for something new, but we've changed the rules on you guys. So, you know, I think we're starting to set this precedence in the township of a plan isn't a plan to be executed, a plan is to be negotiated sometime down the road. So that's just a concern of mine. So thank you for the time.
Okay.
I
Commissioner
think that's a fair comment, and, you know, I wasn't here for the history, but you gentlemen were, and, I mean, on the one hand, doesn't seem like a lot of space. On the other hand, their only argument is that they want it, you know what I mean? It's not like, and so is that a sufficient reason to undo the plan, open the door, when the plan is already compromised? So I sort of came in of one mind, and I find myself somewhat persuaded in the other direction.
Okay. Yeah, I think as a commission, we've shown historically that we're here for a purpose, is to, you know, adjudicate what is reasonable, and, you know, 3 feet to one person is nothing, 3 feet to other might be significant. Again, the whole precedent, we get this all the time, and you know, everyone can look at the rulings we've had in the past, and we've gone both directions. So I'm not too concerned about setting too much of a precedent. So with that, I would be open to a motion. From one of my other 3 commissioners.
I make a motion. Like I said, it's a difficult case, but I don't think there was a sufficient showing to approve a variation from the approved plan that went through a lot of process. It could be setting precedent for additional changes down the road. And so with that in mind, and also considering the staff comments that the standards to qualify for a modification for this plan really weren't met, then I would move to deny the application.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Take a vote, please.
Dr. Baker?
Yes means to deny, correct? Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Gothard?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
No. It is denied by a 3-1. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Any other business, Paul?
No further business. I'm not sure about the February meeting yet. We have a couple of cases out there, but none have submitted, so we'll let you know after the deadline.
And there might be an election of officers in the future. Are you going to be here? Yeah. Oh, I think I'll make that meeting. So. With that, a motion to adjourn.